You're watching KTK in high definition. This is Live at 5.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us today. I'm Ian Mackenzie. Police have released the name of a man killed in a shooting in Longview. Police say they were called to the scene in reference to a traffic accident in the 300 block of Pecan Street just after 7:30. When they arrived on scene, they found 67-year-old George Wrighton suffering from several gunshot wounds. He died at the scene. Police are still working to determine what exactly happened. Anyone with information is asked to contact police right away. An East Texas man is still recovering after being hit by a car. The accident happened just before 7 Saturday in Tyler near the intersection of Vine and 2nd Street. Police say a car hit a 46-year-old man crossing the street in a motorized wheelchair. The man was not crossing at the crosswalk. He suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The 59-year-old woman driver was not injured. Police say there are no signs of her being intoxicated. No citations were issued. Traffic was backed up in Longview after several train cars were derailed. Longview police say 3 train cars were derailed at Estes Parkway near Walmart between Longview and Lakeport. They say no damage was done and no injuries were reported. However, lanes are being blocked and they are unsure how long it will take to clear the lanes. Anyone traveling from Longview to Lakeport or vice versa will need to take alternate routes. Denton police are looking for a 4-year-old that they believe was abducted after his mother was found murdered. An Amber Alert was issued for Ricardo Alexander Lara last Saturday night. Police say the boy's biological father, 23-year-old Ricardo Lara Martinez, is connected with his disappearance. The child is said to be in grave danger. If you have any information, call 911 or the Denton Police Department. Following the House's lead, the Senate has approved a $1.1 trillion spending bill to keep the government open through much of March 2014. However, it is the drama leading up to the vote Saturday night that is making headlines. The original plan for the Senate was to vote on the bill Monday, but Texas Senator Ted Cruz and Mike Lee of Utah forced the Senate to stay in session by demanding an immediate vote to declare President Obama's recent executive actions on immigration unconstitutional. Senator Ted Cruz made his case to lawmakers last night on the Senate floor.
Tonight, both Democrats and Republicans will have the opportunity to show America whether they stand with a president who is defying the will of the voters or with the millions of Americans who want a safe and legal immigration system. This point of order is targeted not to the entire omnibus, but specifically to the DHS funding that the president has announced will be spent unconstitutionally.
Cruz's challenge failed as the vote was 22-74. The spending bill itself passed by a vote of 56-40. President Barack Obama is expected to sign the measure into law. The Senate report on CIA interrogation tactics inspiring fierce debates on both sides of the issue here at home. Some say the techniques save lives, others say it's torture. On Meet the Press, former Vice President Dick Cheney not only defended these tactics, but also saying he would support their use going forward.
Well, torture to me, Chuck, is an American citizen on his cell phone making a last call to his 4 young daughters shortly before he burns to death in the upper levels of the Trade Center in New York City on 9/11. There's this notion that somehow there's moral equivalence between what the terrorists did and what we do, and that's absolutely not true. We were very careful to stop short of torture.
Cheney said the Senate report was released without speaking to anyone who knew anything about the program. He claimed the tactics provided good intelligence and he would do it again in a minute. The release of the CIA's torture report drew harsh criticism from Republicans, including likely presidential candidate Ben Carson. Dr. Carson says the release of the report by the Democratic lead Senator Intelligence Committee was immature and stupid. He argued that as the U.S. faces enemies like ISIS and Al-Qaeda, the only thing this report does is provide them with a recruiting tool. Tomorrow is a key deadline for Americans who get or plan to get their insurance through Obamacare. For people who want health insurance coverage starting January 1st, you must choose a plan no later than Monday. If you already have insurance through healthcare.gov, tomorrow is the deadline to make changes to your coverage. If you do nothing, your choices will remain the same for 2015 and you automatically agree to any premium increases. Back in June, we told you about Mike Vitti, an Army veteran who is walking around the United States to honor those who have died in the global war on terror. Back then he was in California, and in September he was here in East Texas. But today, Vitti finished his journey. Vitti began walking across America, 1 mile for each of the more than 6,800 soldiers killed over the past 13 years in the global war on terror. Each day he wrote the names of the people he's walking for on an American flag. Back in September, we caught up with Vitti as he passed through White Oak. He told us the inspiration behind this incredible journey.
The wounds that those families have to live with are forever. And, you know, providing them unwavering support and letting them know as grateful Americans that their heroes are not forgotten.
Vitti finished his journey at the Army-Navy football game in Baltimore earlier yesterday. Hundreds of volunteers spent yesterday at Arlington National Cemetery placing wreaths on headstones. This is the 150th anniversary of Arlington National Cemetery, and volunteers set out this morning to lay a wreath on every grave marker, more than 200,000 of them. The wreaths were brought in from a company in Maine called Wreaths Across America. The annual tradition got started more than 20 years ago by that same company. Americans and Belgians gathered in southern Belgium on Tuesday to mark the 70th anniversary of one of the biggest U.S. battles of World War II, the Battle of the Bulge. Snow fell and the atmosphere was festive as soldiers marched through the streets. Many visitors dressed up in World War II uniforms, U.S. flags, and signs said thanking American troops were also on display. Some of those attending were current service men and women. And we'll be right back. Start the NFL in Week 15 in progress and all eyes on Cleveland. After months of wondering, it's finally here. Today's Johnny Manziel got his first start ever as the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, a team that's fighting for a playoff spot. And they finally decided to pull the plug on Brian Hoyer. There he is, ready to lead the Browns into battle against the Cincinnati Bengals, but things didn't go so great. In the second quarter, 17-0 Bengals. Manziel picked off by Dre Kirkpatrick just before the half. Manziel buys some time before throwing it in the end zone. Adam Jones intercepts Manziel. He completed 10 of 18 passes for 80 yards with 2 picks, sacked 3 times on the day. Look at the final. Johnny Jam Boogie gets skunked at his home in his debut. The Bengals trounce Cleveland 30-0. And Brian Hoyer's like, thanks for keeping the seat warm for me. All right, over in Indianapolis, the Houston Texans needing a big win against the Colts to keep their playoff hopes alive. Only one problem, the Texans have never beat the Colts in Indy. And the streak continues today with the Texans falling to the Colts 17-10. Houston got on the board first with a pick 6 by Kendrick Lewis, but then Houston starting quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick broke his leg in the second quarter. His season is over. Now backup Ryan Mallett, he's done for the year with a torn pec, so it's the rookie Tom Savage stepping up. The rookie looked like a rookie. He botches a handoff to Arian Foster. Ball's covered up by the Colts. Despite all that, the Texans still had a chance. Fourth down by Savage, 7. Savage lets it fly and it's picked off. Vontae Davis seals it up. The Colts win this one 17-10. Houston has still never won in Indy, and now any shot that they had of making the playoffs is done. The big game coming later tonight, the Dallas Cowboys hosted by the Eagles. It's the battle for the top of the division, and the Cowboys' playoff hopes hinge heavily on this one. We start with preview of the weather up in Philadelphia tonight with our own Marcus Bagwell. Marcus gives us the forecast for the Eagles game. Thanks, Marcus. Now, of course, the last time these teams met, it was Thanksgiving, and the Eagles blew out Dallas 33-10. The Cowboys' defense was full of holes, the offense looked sluggish, and Dallas is determined to not have a repeat performance tonight. And unlike the last time, when they had a short week, the Cowboys have had 9 days of rest and preparation.
I'm not going to stand here and give you an excuse, because I'm not an excuse guy, and I don't make excuses. And we just didn't play well. You know, it just wasn't a good day for the Dallas Cowboys. And, you know, the playoffs have started. It's here now. So if we want to go somewhere or we want to be something, we need a win right now.
We look forward to coming in here and fighting hard. It'll be a tough game. I don't think it'll be nothing like last game, that type of blowout.
And after the game, keep it on KETK, because after your local news and weather, it's going to be a special 2-man edition of Crunch Time. Join me and Garrett Sanders. Lots of Cowboys talk later tonight. In case you missed it last night, Oregon Ducks quarterback Marcus Mariota won the Heisman Trophy by a huge margin. That's it for sports. Back to you.